So this is the engine bay of my RX-7. So this engine is originally was in a 2002 Pontiac Trans Am. We took it out with about 30,000 miles, and I decided to just completely rebuild it. A company called PowerFab Motorsports built the motor for me. As you can see, we did an ABS delete in it. We did a remote bleeder for the clutch. And we kind of have everything intact here. I powder coated the intake. It has a cold air intake, powder coated black. But the engine itself is an LS1. It has PRC stage 2.5 heads, fast fuel rail, injector dynamics injectors, big mouth fast throttle body, fast intake, and obviously it has a cam. Yeah, everything in here works as it should. I use copper spark plugs that I changed about 5,000 miles ago. I like to change them about every 10,000 miles or about every 20,000 miles. And this car always uses Mobil 1 oil and a Mobil 1 filter. I change it about every 5,000 to 3,000 miles, depending on how much I drive it a year. Usually it's about a once or twice a year oil change, and it's kind of, oh, it's been 6 months, let me change it type of deal. It has a brand new oversized fan. I've driven this car in Houston traffic plenty of times, and I'll sit there stuck in traffic, but I'll have the AC blaring, and the car does not have any overheating issues at all. For the transmission on this car, I kind of had the option of building up a stock T56, but when it comes to mechanics on this car, I tried to do everything top notch. So we bought a Tremec T56 Magnum, which is the aftermarket version of the TR6060. It has a custom drive shaft on the car, and on the rear, just to beef up the rear end a little bit, we put a COS 1.5 way LSD, and I've been really happy with the setup. Again, with this motor, making something that's really reliable was more important to me than necessarily making peak power. So I tried to make the transmission as beefy as possible, the motor as beefy as possible. Oh, we're using a McLeod RST twin disc clutch, which is a fantastic clutch. The pedal feels great. It's not super heavy, and from what I understand, they can hold a lot more torque than this car makes. As far as suspension, I used a Fortunato 500 series coilovers. I went with Fortunato because they are good quality for the money, and they are made in the USA, and I'm just a big made in the USA guy. You can see here in the corners it has a Wilwood brake master cylinder and a Wilwood master cylinder for the clutch. And let's kind of go on to the trunk of the car. Oops, here's the underside of the hood. If you want it, I have these little flappy things in place, which a lot of times you'll see lost on RX-7s, including the little rubber at the end of it.